this is Rumor. Thank you for joining me today for one of the most random ass videos you're likely to see at my channel. This is just in the spirit of sheer silliness, sheer fun, sheer playing with the tarot. I had mentioned in a previous video where I shared my tarot origin story that I had this old journal where I kept a bunch of notes that I took from the books, websites, apps, and so forth, accruing my tarot knowledge. And then ultimately I ended up taking a course through Little Red Tarot, which is a tarot shop located here in the UK, selling independent decks. But there is also a wonderful course offered by Beth Maiden, or at least there was. Hopefully it's still available. So I wholeheartedly encourage anyone who's interested in taking an online course. It is one of the more affordable ones that you'll find out there at no sacrifice to quality. It was awesome. I am so glad that I went through it. And I think even for someone who knows the tarot well already, you might just have fun doing some of the activities anyway. So I'm not meaning to give away content of this course because it is something to pay for. But I wanted to take from just one of the activities, share from my old tarot journal, a little creative exercise that involved the court cards. There was a whole week's worth of courses that was focused on learning the courts, and there were multiple exercises, but one in particular really familiarized me with some of the personalities or potential personalities of the court cards. And I will apologize in advance that, this was early in my tarot journey as I was getting more familiar with not just the tarot in general, but especially the court cards. I think the rest of the tarot came to me more easily than these folks right here. And I don't think I'm alone in that it can be kind of tricky to know how exactly to interpret a court card in a reading as they come up. And anyway, as I was first really diving into this study, I did speak to this in my notes in binary terms: male, female, male kings, female queens, male knights, unless stated otherwise, and generally male pages, though there might be some switching back and forth there. But in any case, it's still according to that binary. But it's just for the sake of this exercise. It was just a simple way of getting to know the actual personalities of these cards. In the years since, I respect these as just energies. And yes, personality traits. There might be the masculine and feminine energies to be perceived, but I don't view it as if a king comes up, I don't assume it's referring to a man. So just making that disclaimer at the outset, because I honestly would not want to offend anyone, because it's so great how many tarot decks are out there now that transcend the gender binary when it comes to the court cards, leaving it a lot more open and really embracing the actual essence of the card. But I did this course and this particular exercise using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. So for better or worse, I was working with very old school traditional tarot. And I remember laying the cards out on the floor as I was working through this so I could see them all. So I'm using the RWS today because these are the visuals that I would have looked at to get these insights and speculations, if you will. And so this is a case where I really wish I had a mini deck so I could lay them out better in full, but just working with what I can here. This is going to end up being a mess anyway. Honestly, I'm going to say at the outset, logistically, I don't know how well this is going to work, but as I refer to a court and in relation to another court, I'm going to be grabbing at these to bring them together. So I think this is going to turn out to be a real mess, But again, for the sake of fun, I'm willing to risk the messiness. So without further ado, I have this entry in my journal where I was matchmaking, playing Matchmaker to the court cards. And this is what I had to say. I am reading directly from my journal, which I have poised just to my left over here. And again, I will grab the cards as they apply if it helps at all with illustration. So, all right. To start out, I said, generally, I don't think anyone should be hooking up with someone else in their same suit. Queen of Wands, for example, is too feisty for the King of Wands. And I don't think she'd trust him. She wouldn't have patience with cold swords either. Whether it's the king or any of the swords, I should say. So she'd either hope for a romance with the Knight of Cups. In parentheses, I wrote, cougar. Or a loving affair with the Queen of Cups. That's nice. I see her settling long-term, though, with the Queen or the King of Pentacles, because their earthy element would neutralize her fire without inflaming it, like the airiness of the swords. Or sorry, the swords are here. Or quelling it, the wateriness of the cups. I really do see her going batshit with those swords. Though she might have a hot and very brief affair with the page. Oh, I don't know. Do we see this happening? Maybe. Apparently I saw it then. I don't know, though. King of Wands might actually be better off with the Queen of Swords, because I don't know who else would put up with his shit as well. If he's a charmer and a schmoozer and prone to infidelity, then he'd need someone under-emotional and pragmatic about their arrangement. I think Cups or Pentacles would let him take advantage somehow. King of Cups and Queen of Pentacles seemed like they'd be nice together somehow. Like she'd set up the nurturing home and stability that would allow his sensitivities safe expression. They'd appreciate each other. Quick page turn. Likewise, the King of Pentacles and Queen of Cups. Earth and water strengthening each other in productive ways. Knight of Swords might have a hot affair with King of Wands, who mentors the knight on how to turn his balls out ideas into actual steady action plans, admiring the young man or woman for her intellect, which is a leveler, but also seizing that scattered energy to channel it into the sack. That's right, I wrote that. Knight and Queen of Swords need to get laid big time. Get the sword out of their ass. Okay. Sorry, this is crass. I should have warned you of that as well. I'm not above it. Maybe Knight of Swords could bring Queen of Cups to her knees too. Oh God. And Page of Wands is getting nailed by the King of Pentacles, I think. What? his or her fiery energy being brought under his wing for grounding and mentorship, turning that creative, enthusiastic ambition into actual results. I think this sugar daddy king just really needs to get laid too, as the reserved and slow and steady guy he is. He needs to get rammed swiftly with that page's wand. Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Page of Cups is a more delicate creature, possibly asexual or lured to bed by the Knight of Wands. Again, I don't know. Do you see this happening? I hope the page is at least 18. Or Page of Cups could be in a sweet relationship with the Knight of Pentacles, showing him what light whim and fancy can add to his stable and pragmatic life, loosen him up a little. Page of Pentacles, ooh, might follow the Queen of Swords. In love with her mind and advice on building his future. His youth and ambition would excite her in bed. God, I keep putting them in bed. But he wouldn't be too crazy kinky or excessive with her. They'd stick to missionary style. God help me. Okay, blah, 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 missionary style. Okay, Knights of Cups and Wands. Now let's face them this way. Could be relationship material for a time. Really romantic and hot from the get-go. But either could get burned. Wands would cheat physically, and Cups would have the emotional affair. They're just too passionately explosive for longer term. But maybe Knight of Wands could be a firecracker for the King of Swords. Give him passion and release. Knight of Cups could warm his heart too. Put them that way. Just when I thought it was going to be sweet, Knight of Cups could warm his heart too, as well as bed. See what I did there? Or maybe the King of Swords needs someone like him, so another Swords, just younger, like the Page, so that he can control. Or he has a wealthy but sexless life with the Knight of Pentacles. So that was my crack at matchmaking the court cards. And I really am hoping that everything here is consensual and that the pages are at the age of consent and not jailbait. This is the Rider-Waite-Smith Centennial version by VUA, but thank you for indulging me in that. Hopefully you don't loathe me for that and aren't disgusted with me for that. Again, I just, on unearthing this old original tarot journal of mine, I came across that and I had to laugh. There was so much of that I did not remember writing. And I don't know what possessed me to want to share that with you all publicly today, but for what it's worth, Let me know in the comments if you've ever done an exercise like this, if you've ever tried matchmaking in the courts in a way that is not conventional. What has your experience with the court cards been? What's been the most effective way for you to familiarize yourself with the spirit of their elements and the particular personality traits that can come with the masculine and feminine energies, the energies of age, young to old, or simply the more naive to the more experienced, however you might look at it. And if you have any helpful references for further diving into that, I know on my bookshelf I do have Ethany's book, Your Tarot Court. I actually have not read through all of that though and worked through it. I got into it partially, but I've heard that that can be helpful as well. I feel like in the time since I was doing this activity, I've gotten a better handle on the courts, but I think there's still something that can kind of trip us up now and then, especially for trying to determine whether they are depicting us and our own traits in a reading, or traits we need to embody as advice, or if it is someone else in our life. I don't know, however you might approach that, whatever your thoughts on court cards, just let me know below. And thanks for indulging my smut. This is probably a window into my mind, and again, I hope I haven't disgusted you too much that you won't come back for my next video, but I will see you then, hopefully. Bye!